Hey everybody, and welcome to Northernlion's channel Checkup for January 2020. This is the kind of video I've been wanting to make for a little while because you might have noticed over the end of 2019, the start of 2020, there's been a bit of a transition in terms of content direction, doing a lot of old stuff but implementing a lot of new stuff as well, and in general, I thought that people that have been around for a long time might be interested to know why that's the case. They might be interested to know how it's going, where we take it from here, and so on and so forth. So let me say, right off the top of this video, I'm going to try to stay short as possible. I don't want this to be a 45-minute video, but I have the ability to talk a lot. It's in my DNA for whatever reason. Blame Isaac. If you watch the channel because you want to see cool new releases, what might be worth buying, what might not be worth buying, if you want to see funny videos, if you want to be entertained on that level, this is probably not a video you should waste your time watching. But if you've been around for a while, and you've been in the community for a while, or if you've just started watching, but you're like, hey, I like this guy and I like what he's got going on. I hope that there'll be a little bit of interest here for you. And just in general, it's a question that's come up a lot. So I'd like to talk about it. And moreover, I'd like to do these videos, maybe not once a month. We'll see. Originally, I struggle, and I'm going to ramble immediately on a tangent, but I struggle. I'm like, okay, every January 3rd, every 30th of every month, I'm going to do this video. I gotta get myself out of that rigid mindset to some extent. Make these when it makes sense, and for right now, it makes sense. So, the big reason for making this is that probably, if you watch the channel for a long time, you've noticed that around like November, December 2019 through the early part of 2020 so far, started making a different style of content. For years, close to a decade, I've been kind of the reliable guy that basically is like, hey, you get like an Isaac a day. You get another video from like 2 different series a day. You get some Twitch VODs. And, if you like what you see, subscribe. If you don't, you can go ahead and move on because I'm not making the sort of stuff you're interested in. Now, I've been moving in a direction that's a little bit different. I want to talk about the philosophy for that. So this is why there's things like Northernlion Tries, tier lists, edited videos, Twitch compilations and stuff like that. I kind of, in order to talk about like why we did that, and it's going really well. Let's not bury the lead on that. I really appreciate it. People have, been excited about the new content. I've been excited about making it, and I think that that's kind of infectious. But I want to talk about like how that happened. Like why we ended up making this decision. Basically, for like the whole time I've been on YouTube, let's say 2011 to 2019, just for convenience's sake, when I was serious about YouTube, I kind of had the philosophy, and I built my content around this idea that like, why are people watching me instead of watching other people? Well, the number one reason is like, they like whatever game I'm playing. I happen to play Isaac. And then it had a huge explosion of popularity. People search it on YouTube, and then they're like, this guy's good. And the second thing is he posts all the time, So it was, why would you watch me? Hey, you like my content, or you like the game I'm playing. And then if you really like the game I'm playing, you should subscribe and watch me over other YouTubers because I'm playing it more than anybody else. I put out videos like clockwork. I'm like a metronome. We've made an Isaac video, at least one Isaac video every day for like 8 years. That's just stupid. It's good stupid in some ways, but also, I think that sometimes maybe has been too much, but anyway, don't worry about that. We're still playing Isaac for sure until the DLC comes out, and then after that, Isaac's not going anywhere. And then like the tertiary, the third thing why people might continue to watch me is like, I think he's like, he's reasonably entertaining. He's got good banter or anecdotes or whatever. And I think that was true for like a long time, and the 2014, 2015 also kind of built up the Twitch channel. We had like the twin pillars of Twitch and YouTube. YouTube was like gaming focused stuff. Twitch was, and this is ironic because the platforms are kind of like, the values are inverted these days. YouTube is for like non-gaming stuff and Twitch is gaming mostly, at least for us. But yeah, we kind of YouTube was like serious Northernlion, and Twitch was like, he's a little bit zanier over here. I've realized, and it's taken me a couple years, but it's been percolating under the surface for a while. And if you watch a lot of content, you probably heard me talk about it. Most of the people who watch a lot of my content, and it's a struggle for me to even say this because it sounds braggadocious or even narcissistic, which is a tendency I try to avoid as much as possible. But they're watching because they like me. They find me funny or entertaining, or like, hey, he makes mistakes, but he's got a good attitude about it, or occasionally even like, dare I say, insightful. And I think my initial tendency was to kind of be like, but I'm just a dummy. I just play video games, and if you want to actually like be entertained, go watch some real entertainment. But I'm just kind of here. So if you want something for background noise, put me on the other monitor, but please don't treat me with that kind of respect. and honestly, to some extent, I think that's kind of the way that I looked at it. And since I started having this thought of branching out into like slightly different gaming content or totally non-gaming content whatsoever, really part of it has been for me to give myself the freedom to do that and to accept what has been a hard but pleasant truth to swallow, which is that people actually enjoy listening to me speak, and I am not tricking them like, hey, I played a cool new game that you want to watch, by the way, if you want to watch it, you have to listen to me ramble. So allowing myself to kind of have that freedom, I think, was step one. And the other thing, and this is maybe the most controversial statement I'll make in this video, I think that it's not like just a YouTube trend. I think it's just the trend of the audience and the culture in general. Long form, let's play content that's just, 30 to 60 minutes of a dude talking over the same video game, or even like multiple video games over and over. It's not as fresh as it used to be, in 2014, 2015. It's grown a little bit stale. I think there's still a market for it, or an audience for it, an appetite for it, in the sense that, like, the people who love a game like to watch it. Or maybe you've got the routine that you like put on Isaac when you go to sleep. Or maybe, you do a lot of work on the computer, spreadsheets, coding, whatever, sending emails, and you like to have something like that up on your other monitor. But to some extent, I feel like Twitch has become better at that because it's a live thing and just has a little bit more excitement. And YouTube is better served for like a different style of content that you can kind of package and make more of a cool special event that people might want to actually pay attention to when they watch. So I've been trying to get a little bit of both going on. I think we've been doing a pretty good job of it so far. So I guess the real philosophy for it was kind of making a shift psychologically from thinking that like people watch me because I play games they want to see, to something that's almost the exact inversion of that, which is by making only content about games, I might actually be pushing people away who otherwise think I'm entertaining. They might have subscribed like 3 or 4 years ago. They're like, I like this guy, but I just can't watch that much Isaac. I can't watch that much Gungeon. I can't watch that much video game related content in general. But I would love to see more stuff, or I'd be open to seeing more stuff that he did that was not game related. So that was the key turning moment for me in terms of like thinking about what kind of new content to make. And we're still, we're early on here. Northernlion Tries has been a lot of fun so far. The tier lists have been a lot of fun so far. But, some of it's going to work, some of it's not going to work. And that's okay. We're going to experiment. I appreciate the feedback in both ways. It's been largely positive so far. But I appreciate the feedback in some ways as well. Even if your feedback is just like, I wish instead of doing this, he finished Hollow Knight or something like that. It's not likely to happen, but I do appreciate it in both ways, because, we're kind of, as a community, I have an obligation to you as well, because you kind of signed up for something for whatever reason, and now we're on this journey together, even if we're loosely coupled, that, it's good to talk about. I mean, if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe, of course, and if you like where we're going, you can subscribe. We don't have any further binding contract than that, but anyway, you get the idea. So I think really the takeaway message here, and I want to just, let's go off on a tangent real quick. We're not becoming a tier list channel. We're not becoming a edited Twitch highlights channel. We're not becoming exclusively Northernlion tries. We're not becoming a podcast channel. We're not becoming a rant channel. We're not becoming Angry Gamer, etc., etc. It's everything that we do, and I'll speak specifically to tier lists because those have been common so far, it's new, you know? Maybe for a month, 2 months, 6 months, we'll release the occasional tier list. It's not that we're becoming a tier list channel. It's that it's a new style of content that we're rolling out, seeing how it works, and then eventually people are going to be like, I'm sick of this. You work something else into the equation and just, you know, constantly try to come up with new ideas. Because, like, to be honest, when I think back, you know, and this is, I want to be clear, I've never lost, like, my luster for creating content. I've always been passionate about it, but my passion from, let's say, like 2015 to 2019 was like, oh, I can get in the trenches and I can make 8 videos a day, no problem. That's a skill set that I have. But when I think back to before that, I got excited about like new projects and new ideas and stuff like that. And at some point, I think I mostly did stuff like that on Twitch, and on YouTube, I just focused on hitting that beat, you know? 6 a.m. Isaac, 9 a.m. something else, noon Twitch VOD, 3 p.m. something else. Thursdays are collaborations, you know, blah, blah, blah. So really, like this last month or two has been the most excited I've been about making content on YouTube and Twitch in general, probably since like 2015. And I think it shows. I think that the content, they're all not all winners, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I think it has it rubs off. Like that enthusiasm is infectious, you know. And previously, we're getting into some real psychological stuff, I guess. But previously, I've kind of been like, you know, I love my job, but it's not an important job. It's not a serious job. You know, there's like, you know, cardiologists and stuff like that, you know, they deserve the real credit. And I was kind of almost embarrassed, I guess, by my job while simultaneously taking some degree of pride in it. Now I'm like, oh, you know, screw that. I'm having fun doing this, and I'm excited to do it every single day and to entertain people. And I think that, honestly, not everybody, and this is not meant as a shot to Dan, but not everybody likes the style of content that Dan makes, but I owe Dan a great debt of gratitude for being kind of like that patient zero for enthusiasm for me recently, especially, because, you know, a lot of YouTubers and even a lot of streamers, they get into the, you know, they're excited, they're making things happen, they're growing a little bit, and they have these milestones, and then they kind of reach, it's not a bad thing, they reach like a plateau where you're just doing the job, and you're knocking out the rent every day. And then, instead of being excited about stuff, there's a lot more like, oh, did you see this news? Oh, you know, this controversy, blah, blah, blah. And you get ground down, you lose a little bit of enthusiasm for it, and it just becomes a job. Dan, I don't agree with everything that he does, but he's got a real passion for it. And I think that took a while, but it rubbed off on me. And now I see it rubbing off on other people as well. And I'm like, you know, it's an exciting time in the community. So, you know, we just talked for like 12 minutes about it. But yeah, let's Cliff Notes it. Essentially, I'm going to be producing more non-game related content while still producing the same kind of game related content in parallel to that you've already grown used to. So yeah, Isaac's not going anywhere. We're just the gaming content we make. Isaac is his own beast. It's like his own standalone business at this point. It's going to keep delivering a video a day until the DLC. When the DLC comes out, probably many, many more. Northernlion Tries is just taking, you know, the fact that I have a passion for the video gaming industry again, and encapsulating that content in a way that's more engaging to you, and also to hopefully a wider audience that doesn't know who I am. Because instead of 90 videos of the same game, over the course of 3 months, we've covered 90 different games, which I think brings value in a lot of different ways. And then the stuff that is not related to that at all, you know, tier lists and edited content, that'll come when it comes, but it's there mostly for 2 reasons. I make a lot of long form content, and editing it down is a much more digestible way for new people to experience it, because I think we have a lot of funny moments during the NLSS, for example, but how are you going to market that to a new audience that might find it entertaining? You're not going to be like, hey, watch this 3-hour VOD where like at least 25% of it is not that good. I love it all, but still. And, the other thing is, if you're already like a member of the community and you like the stuff that we make, you can relive like cool moments in 2.5 minutes instead of having to find that spot in a VOD specifically. So those are like the pillars of what we're making right now, and it's been good. That's the real heart of this video that I wanted to talk about, and it's been good. It's been nice. We've been on a plateau on YouTube for a while. It's always been fine, but it is disheartening sometimes when you're like, in 2014 I was working 8 hours a day on YouTube and we were growing, and then in 2019 we're working 8 hours a day on YouTube, and we're roughly at the same level. I think it's a positive feedback loop, There's a negative feedback loop that I've seen a ton of YouTubers fall into, and I'm very wary of. So we'll talk about that first, which is, you're working hard on YouTube, things are going okay. Then adpocalypse hits, or people don't like this game that's your main game that much anymore. Or hey, it's January, and just, you don't get paid as much in January because people are much stingier with their budgets and stuff like that. What happens? Well, you go, I used to work 8 hours and I would make, I don't know, let's just say $100. Now if I work 8 hours, I make $60. So why would I work as much when the work that I do doesn't pay me as much as it used to? But then, a month after that, you're in a worse position because people are like, I don't want to watch this guy anymore to some extent. And now you're like, you have a logical reason to work a little bit less, but it's working against you in the future as well because, there's lots of competition and saturation. Right now is awesome. We're in the opposite part of it, if that makes sense. I'm putting in work and I'm seeing results, and the results are making me more excited to work and try new stuff. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine too. We can always, cut that and do something else in the future. So it's been good. And really, thank you for that. Thank you for being open to the content. And being patient, as it took me a long time to figure out this new direction that's still very much in its infancy. So now in like the nitty gritty state of the channel stuff, Isaac not going anywhere. Thank you for watching so much Hades. We kind of reached the point where we hit a routine in that game, a cadence, if that makes sense. And that's usually a sign that it's probably time to move on from that. So Hades is a great game, early shortlist for Game of the Year 2020. It's January 20th as of the time of this recording, so there's a long way to go. But really, really great game. And we'll return to it at least for a little bit after a few updates. I know the new update's coming out soon. It has like a new god and maybe some more content. That's not enough for me to come back for like a week. So we'll wait it out for a little bit longer, but I do want to play more Hades in the future. Northernlion tries. Thank you for your patience. We've been not every game has been a super fit. Some games that I thought would be amazing fits tanked, and some games that I thought would go nowhere have been awesome, and people have really loved it. So just experimenting with that and really trying to keep it up every single day. But we're exiting, I think, a drought of notable releases, and that doesn't mean exclusively like we're gonna play AAA stuff or even III indie stuff, but like it's been really, really dire in terms of new releases on Steam in January of 2020 so far. And if we can make it through this, I think we're good for the rest of the year. So, I've been enjoying a mix of ambitious stuff that's already in my wheelhouse, roguelites, deck builders, stuff like that. And also occasionally mixing in like a sillier game, some kind of meme game approach to it that I think is cool. Yeah, it's going well. Just have patience. I think every one of those videos has merit because it's always a new game. But yeah, some of them are not great fits, but there's only one way to tell, until I hone my my radar for that stuff to 100%, there's going to be misses now and then. But I think it's mostly been fun. So we're continuing that for sure. That's one of my top priorities right now. Tier lists, again, I got more coming. They're fun. I appreciate the suggestions as well. We're not becoming a tier list channel, but we are going to be making more of them because I think it's For whatever reason, I have a ridiculous ability to just talk endlessly about mundane stuff and debate myself and also straw man in my head about, what's the best vegetable. So I think it fits into my wheelhouse right now. So we're going to keep doing it for the time being. And on Twitch, I should talk about, on Sunday we did something called the Roguelite Pentathlon. I didn't know what to play on Sunday. So I thought, you know what, let's do something interesting. Let's do a special event. And we'll try to beat 5 roguelites back to back that I have some awareness of, So we did Spelunky, Gungeon, Hades, Spire, Isaac. Unfortunately, we died on Spire, which is embarrassing because it was Ascension 0. But I appreciate it. So honestly, like, the stream went really well. People were super excited for it, which was very flattering. But, we died 3 hours in and people were like, aren't you going to restart? And I was like, nah, it's Kate's turn to stream. We got like time slots. And that's my fault. I didn't realize because, to be honest, I've been not lazy because I've been working hard, but I've been lazy about marketing my own content and my own self, I guess. That, I made a little trailer that took like half an hour to whip up in Adobe Premiere Rush. And I put it out and I was like, get excited for this event. Because it's the first time in like years I've put that kind of effort into marketing a stream, I think people got the impression that it was going to be like, we won't stop till we finished all 5 games. So people were a little annoyed with that. And, I understand. It's a growing pain. It is my bad for not communicating it properly. Again, I was like, oh, people will be super stoked to watch this because of the trailer that I made. I didn't realize. Now in hindsight, I obviously do. But it gives the impression that like, oh, this is a special event. Whereas for me, I was like, oh, this is the new normal. So that's my bad. And if you were watching this and you were wondering when discussion on that was going to happen, that's basically all it is, Sorry, there's a little cat hair in the air. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're trying new things. And I've always, I'm a risk-averse person to begin with. We have a good thing going on YouTube to start with that people would kill for. I think really I have like one of the most unique communities on the internet. There are a few other streamers and YouTubers in a similar boat, but like we have a community of people that watch us for us, which is amazing. I don't know how it happened. For whatever reason, I'm flattered. So I'm trying to lean into that a little bit more and be like, you know what? If I watch someone that I liked for their personality, would I want them to exclusively make, one style of content forever? And the answer to that question is probably no. So having flipped the script and thought about it, that's what I'm trying to give to you guys as well. So that's where we're at in January 2020. Everything's good. Thank you for your support so far. We're going to keep trying new stuff. And it's a good time. Full stop. It's an exciting time. I'm enthusiastic. I'm passionate again. And hopefully we'll talk about more of the same in February. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hey, if you want to hop on the train with us, subscribe. Helps out a great deal. It's not a New Year's resolution because I don't have control over this, but I would love to grow that subscriber number in 2020 just as a positive reinforcement to me that what I'm doing is something that's well-liked as well. So if you're interested, please do. Of course, you could like the video if you want. I mean, it's flattering. I don't really care if this makes it into the algorithm. It's not really that kind of content. Like a tier list instead if you enjoyed those. For now, though, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya!